Hello and welcome to Strong and Curious. Today is another episode in the segment of Curious About Culture. In this episode, we talked about the American cancel culture, national pride, drugs, guns, consumer culture, and stories like Florida man charged with assault after throwing an alligator through a Wendy's drive-thru window. To start off, here are a few fun facts about the country. The United States of America is a vast and diverse country located in North America, known for its cultural melting pot and influence on global politics, economy, and popular culture. American culture is characterized by a spirit of individualism, freedom, and innovation. The U.S. is a nation of opportunities with a thriving entertainment industry, a love for sports, and a pioneering spirit that has shaped its identity as a global powerhouse. The U.S. is home to the world's oldest national park, the Yellowstone National Park, established in 1872. The Hollywood film industry, centered in Los Angeles, California, is one of the largest and most influential in the world. The Statue of Liberty, located in New York Harbor, is a symbol of freedom and democracy. It was a gift from France to the US and has become an iconic landmark. My guest today is Kayla, who was born in Florida and grew up in California. Enjoy.
Korea's COVID case stayed kind of low compared to other countries, but it was really strict. Like, there was a curfew at 10.
Really?
And there was one point you couldn't meet more than one person.
Really?
Yeah, like it was
Okay.
it was really serious. They're like, get home, get off the streets. Do not meet in groups. And they were really and outside, you couldn't even take off your mask. Like, there's a point where if you took it off even outside, you can get fined.
Really?
Yeah, so it wasn't that fun at first, but then after COVID passed, I got better. It was good, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about what happened yesterday? There was this almost World War III vibe going on.
Yeah, right.
So please tell us what happened.
Okay.
Where were you? What happened?
Actually, really randomly, I just woke up to use the bathroom, just, regular thing. And then I was coming back from the bathroom after the alert. So I was like, what the heck? Why? It's 6 a.m. Why are they giving me alerts? So I looked at it and, it was in Korean. So I just assumed, maybe there's a storm coming because they say like, be careful, don't go outside. But then I looked at the weather and I was like, no, it says clear skies. So I was like, wait a second. Let me translate this. And I just saw like, evacuate kids and elderly first, like, please leave.
Yeah.
And I was freaking out. I was like, what? Like, evacuate where? And I was like looking outside my window. I don't see the chaos. I was looking to see like just people like leaving. So I just like texted out like my Korean friends, like, what's going on? Like, what are they talking about? And then my Korean friends were also like, I don't know. 1 second, let me watch the news. So I was panicked. I was so panicked. And I was like, I don't even know what to do. I don't know where to go. I just called my dad. I was like, Dad, they said evacuate now. I don't know what's going on. And he was like, okay, maybe, pack a bag with your passport or something. And I was like, okay. And I was just so lost. I think everyone just texting each other. What's going on? But yeah, that was, my heart was, beating really fast. It was,
Yeah, I woke up from it.
Right?
Because, it's so, just as a reference, in Korea, you get those alarms, and oftentimes it's nothing dangerous.
Yeah,
like
right.
the thing, I don't know if everybody gets the exact same ones or if it depends on like the area.
Oh, yeah.
But for example, I so many times I just get, we're looking for this woman.
Yeah, me too.
She's 116 and she's lost or whatever. And then it's always in Korean, and it's always either this or the woods are dry, don't go make a fire.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing that serious.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly. And I'm not planning on camping anyway. So it's okay. So I don't react, I don't have to do anything. And then it woke me up, because usually it's just a vibration, but that one made a sound.
It was a loud one.
Yeah.
It was like harsh.
Yeah, it was really get your ass.
Yeah.
It was very uncasual. And then it was all in Korean again. And I was like, fuck. And I just wanted to make it stop, So I just clicked away. But then I didn't have time to read it.
Yeah, right.
It. And then I just went to sleep again, and like 5 minutes later came again. And then I clicked it away again because of the noise. And then I looked into there's a group chat with the exchange students. And I looked into there, and they were all like, shit is going down. They sent tweets of they said North Korea sent a missile to Japan. They are in a lockdown, everybody in Korea, be ready to pack your shit and get into a bunker. And yeah, it was so scary. And I was like,
Scary.
wait, is this real? And then everybody started, because you got to be careful in today's age of like fake news and shit.
You do.
And then they all, like half of the people started to send memes of like, get ready to die.
Yeah.
And they made like fun of this. And I was like, they would never, like if it was real, they wouldn't. At least I hoped they wouldn't do this. And then I just went back to sleep, and like 1 hour later I had to get up anyway, so I looked at it again, and then they sent like it's okay.
False alarm.
False alarm.
Yeah.
But then I read the article, and it wasn't a false alarm in terms of it was nothing. It was just that thankfully the thing that they send up in space was like a spy satellite kind of thing, and it just happened to not succeed in going up, and it just crashed in the ocean.
Yeah, right. I heard that the reason that we got the alert was that they were tracking it, but it went off the radar. And they were like, where the heck did it go?
Yeah.
So it was like a precaution, like everyone just take cover, I guess. Because I heard even in Japan, like the islands in Japan, they're also like getting the same like alerts and the sirens. Did you hear any sirens?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that is when I got really scared. Like,
did you hear them?
Yeah, because I was listening and it was like someone talking and like, you know, the noise. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? Like this has never happened. And I was so scared because like, I feel like, you know, living in Korea, there's the north, obviously, but I've never felt a threat. It's kind of like you never think about it. You're just kind of going about your daily life. And there had never been like this thing, like this big of a thing. So I was like, oh my gosh, is it serious? Is anything happening? I don't know where to go. Oh my God. I was, panicked.
My first, because I'm going home in a month.
Yeah, right.
My reaction was like, can you not just wait for another month with your shenanigans?
He said, I'm almost done. I'm almost going to leave, right?
But I mean, thankfully, nothing happened. It's just fine. And I did send it to a Korean friend also in the morning, and he was like, yeah, this happens all the time.
Really?
Yeah. And he said he's used to.
Yeah, a lot of Koreans, they weren't worried. But you know, I think Koreans, like, I heard that a lot of them just went back to sleep or like, oh, no, it's fine. But I feel like most Koreans, after every big tragedy that's happened in Korea, they've all had that mindset. Like, no, it's fine. It's fine. Nothing's happening. It's and then something major happens. That's why I feel like,
that's
better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah,
because I mean, I don't know if this is too sad, but like the whole Itaewon thing and the whole, I don't know if you've heard about the ferris that's sunk with a bunch of kids, the boat.
No, Itaewon I heard, but not that.
Yeah, there was a big accident or like a boat where they're on a field trip going to like Jeju or something, some island, and the boat starts sinking, but like no one took action. They just kind of like, oh no, it's fine. Everyone just put your like, you know, life vest on and just sit down. It just sat as the boat sank.
Damn.
And no one took action.
Nobody helped?
No, because they were all like, oh, I think it's fine. So they just call us, just sit down, be safe. And then suddenly they're like, oh no, it's not fine. And the whole thing until what happened, everyone's like calling. And they're like, oh no, it's fine. And then when people start dying, then it's like, oh, it's not. That's why I feel like part of me is like, okay.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Koreans, they kind of just wait until things go completely.
Until shit is the fan.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh my gosh, panicking. They don't even know how to react. So I feel, and I realized that a lot about like from big things to small things. That I was like, okay, let me just have my own common sense, you know? So, yeah.
Okay. So coming back to when you got here to Korea, did you ever have like a culture shock?
I don't know if this counts as culture shock, but I think, I mean, of course it was so new. Everything's so new. I think anyone coming to maybe Asia for the first time or even Korea for the first time, it's so different to what we're used to in the West, you know? I think at first I was really impressed by how fast technology was here. Like I remember like there's just so convenient, the convenience of the country. I was like, wow, this is so convenient. That was, you know, shocking for me. I really liked that. And you know, Korean barbecue, have you had?
Yeah, of course.
At first, I thought, why are they paying money to cook their own food? I didn't know the concept of like K barbecue. So I was like, why are they paying to cook their own food? Just eat at home. Like, why are you? And then I was like, okay. I tried it and I was like, okay, now I get it. I understand. And the whole like hierarchy thing, that's one thing I don't necessarily like that much, you know?
What do you mean?
You know, like in Korea, whoever's older, you always have to like give them that respect,
Mm.
which I agree. Like, you know, your elders, respect them. But it's like to the fact where it's like even a year older, then it's like the way you talk has to change, the way you act has to change. You have to like always give them this.
Really? Just a year difference?
Yeah, they take it seriously. Like
Okay.
I've seen like I think if you're close friends, it's okay.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I've heard some crazy stories. Like I have a Korean friend and he has a classmate who's 1 grade older, a year older, and like she would just boss him around. Like, oh, I forgot my headphones. Go buy some new ones. Go to Daiso. And like they don't know how to react because they're like, oh, like they want to say no, but in the culture you have to be like kind of just respect it, you know? So I was like, what? Why are you doing that? Like, tell her no. Tell her your own headphones. And it's like, no, like I don't want to be rude because I have to like listen to her. She's older than me and she's higher than me. And I've seen like some people just kind of abuse that. So that culture shock, that was kind of for me. I was like, don't know how I feel about that. Like I think there should be a mutual respect.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's talk about some American culture.
All right.
So like, how do you greet each other in America?
Just hey, how are you? How are you doing?
Yeah. So how are you really just means like hello, right? Doesn't really
it's
mean,
not.
please tell me.
Yeah, it pretty much. Yeah, it's never like unload everything to me. It's kind of just like a greeting, like hi, how, like yeah, hello.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about like handshakes and stuff? Like, how do you greet a friend?
A friend?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't give them a handshake.
I mean, okay. Then how do you greet them? With a hug?
Yeah, I guess a hug would be
like a fist bump or something.
Yeah, I think it depends on your connection, but just like, oh hey, some guys that do fist bumps or something.
Yeah.
Girls usually hug, side hug.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh hey, hey girl. Okay. Just start, and I think handshake is more formal. I think it's like when you're meeting, like, hello, my name is Kayla, but like.
But it's not uncommon. Like.
No, it's not uncommon. Yeah, it does. Maybe meeting like. Maybe because I'm younger, so maybe as an adult, meeting another adult for the first time, like, oh hi,
like a real adult.
Yeah, a real adult, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's not uncommon, but it doesn't always happen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since in America you don't use the metric system, you use the imperial system.
Yeah. Right.
But here in Korea we do use the metric system. So have you like a custom? Yeah, exactly. Literally everybody does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So have you like how well could you adapt? Are you by now used at all to the system?
All I can do for now is centimeters for height. You know, the whole height thing. Now I got it. Like if you tell me you're like 178 or whatever, I can like count. Calculate it in my mind. Like okay.
Just think about how much.
Yeah. And kilograms. I could do like that, but Celsius,
no chance.
No chance. I have no idea. I'm like, what?
Really?
No, like okay. I mean, I can kind of like guess. Like I've like have like my base number. Like okay, this means this in Fahrenheit. But sometimes I'm like, I'm not like 100% sure. Celsius is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and meters, of course, I got used to that whole thing. But Celsius is the only one that I'm like, it's not happening. I can't.
Let me give you a reference. So everything. So for California standards, everything below 20 is cold. 20 to 30 is, or 20 to 25 is warm, and everything above is hot.
Okay.
So that's like as a general reference points.
Okay, anything below 20 is cold?
Yes.
And anything above 20 is hot?
Above like...
Oh, 20 to 25 is like warm.
Above 30 is
30?
Hot, okay. So 20 to 30 is probably for California standards, I guess, the norm.
Okay. Okay, 20 to 30s, okay.
Yeah, 20 to 30 is probably your sweet spot.
Yeah, okay. And then when it goes above 30, it's like...
I mean, that's, for me, everything above 30 is hot. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean... since you told me when you got here the cold was really cold to you, and so I would assume that means that the very hot is like a normal for your standards.
I guess so. Like for me, once you get below 60, That's like
Yeah.
60 Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius.
60 Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's 15.
Yeah, below that, or even in the 60, I would go higher. I was gonna say 65, but I didn't want to sound that like that.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, in the 60s range, in that range, no, I'm ready to like.
Yeah.
It's too cold.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy when it's around there.
Yeah.
I love it when it's cold enough to wear pants, not shorts, and maybe like a jacket or something.
Okay, but the sun's out though, right?
Yeah, I mean not
Okay.
freezing, but I don't like it when you know that when you have to walk one flight of stairs,
Yeah.
it'll be wet when you get up. You know. it's
Yeah,
kinda hot, I hate
yeah.
this.
And I think the difference too with Korea is California has dry heat. So even if it's hot,
Yeah.
you don't have that humid, like
Yeah.
overwhelming
true, yeah.
that's I don't like. Yeah, I don't like the humidity.
Mm. So in America or in the US, by the way, I found that is actually a website
Yeah.
that is called usaisnotamerica.com.
Yeah.
And I quote, it is actually considered politically incorrect in
Yeah.
South America to call the US just America.
Yeah.
There's a whole website dedicated to explaining this common mistake.
Yeah. Wait. So this came from South America, right?
Yeah.
The people. Okay. That makes sense. Because, yeah, I never heard this until I met a South American friend, and they were like, "Why are you calling it America? You know, there's also South America." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay." I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess I just got so used to just saying like America. Everyone knows just America is like U.S. Like, I feel like when people say America, they don't think Canada. Canada's just Canada. I mean, yeah, politically correct. It is a part of the North American continent, but yeah.
I guess that's just part of the mindset of, no offense.
Yeah.
But like Americans that think America is the entire world.
Yeah, that a lot of that's what I can say. A lot of Americans do focus is just America.
Yeah.
But yeah, after hearing that, I was like, oh, you know what? You're really like, you're right. Like, why do I say that? So now I try to say, oh, I'm from the U.S.
Yeah.
You know, I try to be more specific because I was like, yeah, right, that's true. And he makes sense. Like this website, he was like, no, like don't do that. Okay, thank you.
So alcohol is at 21.
Yeah.
Right. And how old are you now?
21.
Oh, perfect. So, when I was in Indiana for an exchange semester, an exchange year,
Yeah.
and there it was really very, very strict because I was in a marching band, and it was like Memorial Day or something, and we were actually marching and playing, and then we had to stop, and I wanted to just use the bathroom, and the only thing that was close by was a bar, and I just wanted to
Use the bathroom.
use the bathroom,
Yeah.
and I was 16,
Yeah.
and I was planning on sneaking a beer or
Yeah,
anything,
right.
you know, and they were like, no, you can't come in.
Oh, not even go in,
Yeah, I
right?
could not even enter the establishment.
That
What's it like in California?
most people, they have fake IDs. Like,
Yep.
From like they have a fake ID to get entry to everywhere.
Yeah.
I think they are kind of strict.
Yeah.
Especially coming from Europe, you know, like that was, I don't know if I could talk about culture shock for Europe, but
Good.
like, because you know, it's 16 or something. Can people drink beers? Like just
Yeah,
casual
16 you can
drinking,
drink
right?
beer,
That was shocking. So like, but it's so much more relaxed, the rules. But no, I think it's more strict there than Europe, which is why most people just have fake IDs, or when they drink at like their home, you know, home parties, because everyone can get like alcohol gathered in the home and then just drink without any people trying to stop you. So yeah, I think it is kind of strict. Even like my mom gets ID when she buys like some stuff from the grocery store, just as a like, I don't know, a standard check. All right, when she goes to a restaurant, she loves it. You know, she's like, oh, you think I'm young? You know, but yeah, it's pretty strict. Like she still gets ID.
That's crazy. So in Switzerland, so Germany is very close.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, it's a bordering country. And I live in Basel, which is right at the border. And so oftentimes, people who live close to the border, they would like get groceries and stuff.
Yeah.
In Germany because
it's cheaper, right?
Yeah. And so alcohol obviously also is a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And then I have one friend, he's had like a full beard since he was like 9. You know, he's very hairy dude, and he's had like a deep voice from very early on. So when he was 14, we went to Germany, and we got like a full cart full of alcohol with him, and he wasn't even asked for his ID.
Really? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, I can see that, because I know when my family had went to Europe, I have a younger sister, and she was like, I love that I could just send her to the store to get me some wine. I don't need to be there. Like, oh, go get me some wine, you know?
Yeah.
So I realized it's very relaxed.
Yeah, but honestly, there's also different for men and women.
Is there?
Yeah, for example, like clubs,
Yeah.
oftentimes it's like women can get in at 18 and men at like 25.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really unfair, like, for the men.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's fucking ridiculous. I mean,
So it's just a club full of a bunch of girls.
yeah, that's the point, that you have more women than men.
Okay.
You know, but also I was once in Miami, and there was I know, different situation, but I was in Miami, and there was this offer you could have for the men. It was, you get 1 hour of open bar in just a regular bar, and then you can take the party bus to a club, and the entry to the club is for free. Yeah. But every drink you pay, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Open bar.
Yeah, right.
For the women, it was the first hour they pay, and the rest of the night they drink for free.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. I feel like all the clubs around the world are trying to get the girls. Yeah. Some deals for the girls. Yeah. Have you ever had a moment where like you have to pay and the girl doesn't have to pay to get in?
To get in? Yeah, honestly, I don't go to clubs that often. Yeah. So not really, no.
I've seen it before too. That was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, but I believe that definitely.
Yeah. It was like, yeah, a common thing.
So in the US, there's this everybody gets offended culture kind of thing. Is it like state specific, or is that, do you think, everywhere?
I think these days it's kind of everywhere. I think it's just the whole state in general.
So have you ever had that like a classic Karen or something gets offended on your behalf?
Yeah, most likely I have. And I think these days it's changing. The culture's changing a little. We're like, it's a line where people are kind of arguing. Is it like, the argument is everyone getting offended easily, or are we just not taking offensive jokes anymore? Yeah. So it's like this kind of thing where people are like, I don't know, you know, because like some things that you could say 10 years ago, now it's like celebrities are people wouldn't dare to say, you know? So then people are like, you're just getting offended easily. And then the other argument is like, no, we're just tired of taking like you being just openly rude and just accepting it. You know, so it's but I would say it's pretty general for the whole states. Yeah. And for the Karen thing, yeah, I think it's pretty common these days actually. It's kind of like stand up for the other person, like, oh, why are you doing that? Yeah, I would say it's these days, and especially these days, because you know it's so, I don't want to say a sensitive time, but I think everyone's hyper aware. Yeah, they're like expecting it, so they're like ready to like react right away. Like, oh, are you doing something like, you know, like everyone's like kind of, I would say hyper aware these days. Yeah, so it's like faster to react. Yeah, so back home I realized it's also definitely more sensitive than it used to be. I guess it's nowhere even close to the US situation. Yeah. Yeah. But I still feel like you gotta be so much more careful of what you say. Yeah, you too. The cancel culture. Yeah, cancel. Yeah, exactly. You have to be really careful. It's just crazy because I just feel like we're just so spoiled. I mean, if you had real problems, like if you would have to like worry, do I have enough money to eat tomorrow? Yeah. And you would never give a shit about this. Yeah, that's true. That's just human nature. You look for problems. Yeah, I would say, and I don't know, like for me, it's like a fine line. I feel these days because that's like, I feel like some people cancel culture is good and bad. That's how I feel. In what way is it good? I feel like a lot of people are getting exposed for like actual bad behaviors that they got away with, and then the other cancel culture is like people are just quick to jump on it and like cancel for not a real cancel reason. Yeah. So it's like, oh man, and or like it's not even true, and they're just adding to the narrative, and it's like the whole person's reputation's just trash. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that I'm like, oh, okay, wait, guys, let's reassess. But then other people where it's like, you did what? Like, you know, and you know,
Yeah.
then I'm like, yeah, you know, you kind of deserve that. So to me, it's like a pro and con cancel culture thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, especially, you know, nowadays, phones, everyone's being recorded as soon as something like seems like it's gonna happen. So it's kind of like you got exposed for who you really are, and the other side's like you didn't deserve that.
Yeah. I mean, I agree definitely with that. That's obviously like for example, Bill Cosby. You know, that was a Bilderbuch-Beispiel. I mean, it's like a perfect example for that. But the other way around, like I think it was with Kevin Hart, the situation that he said something a decade ago. That at the time was okay. I mean, still may be rude, but still, it's who gives a shit, you know? And now it bites him in the ass. That's just that sucks, because isn't that also like in terms of law in the US, that when you do something illegal, or like you do something that's kind of bad, and then later you get busted for it, if at the time of you doing it was legal, you can't be punished for it now when it's not legal anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did he do something illegal?
No. I mean,
but just like you can't get in trouble for it anymore.
Exactly. It just means if you did something at a time where it was legal and later it turns illegal, you can't be busted.
No, that's true. I know what you're saying. It goes back to what I said, like people, if something they said 10 years ago, it was fine, but now it's like, you never say that. But I think, like I said, these days people are like finding receipts, you know? Like, you know, October 3rd, 2013, you did this, you said that, you know, and then it becomes a big thing. What? So yeah, there's, like I said, I think pros and cons to it all. People bringing up the past. That happens a lot, though, I think, with celebrities. Like, they get caught for something like they did when they were a teenager or something, and then it comes to light when they are, you know, bigger or just later, and then they're like making, you know, this classic apology video, or something, So,
it's just so scary if you think of it. Like, you got to be so extreme. Of course, you got to be careful and like mindful of what you say, but still, like, I mean, we're still humans and we make mistakes.
Yeah, that's true.
You say something stupid.
That's true.
Can't your reason just be that I'm a dumbass?
Yeah, or like you can say, you know, you've grown from that time, or you just you were immature, or I don't know, something. That's true. And I think if you think the U.S. is crazy, Korea's times 10 of the U.S.
Please share.
Like, I had a friend who she wanted to be like kind of entertainer here. Oh my gosh, she wouldn't do anything because she was so scared that if she did become famous here, that they would find out about her past or something she did, and then she would be ruined. Like, so like, she wouldn't want to go to some clubs, or she wouldn't want to hang out with some people. She didn't want to be seen. She didn't want to do anything, even if she was just a regular person now. But she was always so like, guys, no, my reputation. Even if, though she's just a student now, she's like, no, if I make it in Korea, if they find out, you know, something, even if it's, but the thing is, in Korea, even if it's not bad, they make it a bad thing. You know, like a K-idol getting caught vaping, you know.
And that can ruin that reputation.
They're like, you vape, you know, like, or again smoking or something. Like, I mean, some people, it's just a weird line. Or dating, it's like, they're too much here, to be honest. Too
sensitive.
Like a perfect example, you know, like food eating videos, like mukbangs or something. Mukbangs, you know, everyone eating a bunch of food. There was a scandal in Korea where they found out that some of the YouTubers got sponsored by other like companies. Like, oh, can you please eat our food and then, you know, record the video eating our food? But because the YouTubers didn't tell them it was sponsored, all hell broke loose.
Really?
They were like, how could you dare have a sponsor not tell us it was sponsored food? You're such a fake, like, and just canceled. And all the people were just like, guys, I'm so sorry. Yeah, and I was like, what in the world?
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? That's why I feel like they make such small problem a big problem, you know? So it's like, okay, no.
This must just be such a bad way of life. Like, if you see something like this and your impulse is, I have to shit on this, like, this must suck. Then it's always just negative vibes all the time.
Yeah.
Just if you don't like something, then just don't consume it. Don't look at it anymore. I mean, what's the problem if you don't like something?
Yeah.
Why would you keep watching it so you can get angry?
That's what I said. I don't understand either. That's why I feel there's a lot of things I have opinions about Korea, but it doesn't make sense. But yeah. The cancel culture here is crazy, but the U.S. cancel culture is also crazy. Yeah.
Okay, so since we're back at the topic of US,
Yeah.
so in the US you can drive at 16, right?
Yeah.
So how old were you when you got your license?
Like I got my permit at 15 and then license at 16.
Okay. Did you also get like a car right away at 16?
Yeah. I did.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you went to school in the U.S. I don't know how your school was, but usually at a high school, it's just like a parking lot full of cars,
Yeah, it's
right?
all student cars.
It's just all student cars. Yeah. And usually how it is like once someone turns 16, I mean, not everyone is like this, but I would say majority of American high school students are like this. You know, you're calculating like who turned 16 first, who turned 16 first. You know, you're trying to find in your friend group because you're like, okay, then you're gonna be the driver until we all turn 16.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like a carpool situation, and then like you all age up, and it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Switzerland, it's definitely not like this. I mean, of course we can drive at 18.
Yeah.
But still, like there's some people that would buy like a car right away, and that's like really like car people. Like,
okay. It's not like usual.
It's
not common.
Yeah, it's just not because it's way too expensive.
Yeah.
Because if you think of the average like age of moving out, for us it's increased a lot more. I mean, for example, my aunt, she moved out like on her 18th birthday, she was out.
Yeah.
But right now, for example, me and myself, I'm at 23 and I still live at home because it's just so expensive to move out if you don't have a steady, good income.
Yeah.
You know? And so yeah, I mean, you can have a car at 18. But what I did was I bought a motorcycle because it's so much more convenient.
That's true.
And so much cheaper.
Okay.
To sustain it, over time, because like the maintenance of the car, the fuel, the insurance all the time, so expensive.
And actually, I feel like that's what I've learned too about American culture versus other places. I don't want to say the whole world, but I feel like majority is that the U.S. has like this standard at 18, you're like on your own, not on your own, but you're like independent, get out, get out the house, go. Yeah. Whereas I felt in other places, it's like, no, like you can still stay at home. It's okay. Like, and I felt like this balance with my parents actually, because my dad's not originally from the States, but my mom is. And at 18, my mom was like, oh, I can't wait for you guys to go to college. You guys can get out. We can be alone. Like this kind of thing. I was like, gosh, okay. Like, when I was 18, I was out. She was telling her story. And then my dad was like, Kayla, no, don't listen to her. You can stay home. You can stay here. You can... Don't listen to that. Stay here as long as you need. Save your money. Just, and then coming to Korea, I've also met a lot of people, in their 20s living at home and also in Europe. So I felt this, I think it's an American thing where they're like, get out.
But when you moved, so did you actually move out?
No.
Okay. No. But I mean, I guess most people who would move out at 18, it would still be like rather in like a college dorm.
Yeah. Right? They wouldn't be like alone. And they would,
because that's still a difference for me, like financially.
Yeah.
Because I assume a dorm is more or less cheap compared to an actual
apartment. House, I think there's like different ways people go after graduating, but a lot of people, I don't know percentages, but a lot of people are supported financially through their parents, even if they're out at 18. They're still like not independent fully, like a fine line of independent and not independent. But yeah, they move to the dorms, or they all get like a share house, and then
I've seen that before.
Yeah, and they all just kind of live at that house. But it's common. I think the get out thing is kind of they're moving away from home, like their own home, and then moving somewhere else, to
be like a grown up.
Like a grown up.
Yeah. So in American schools, you have like the football and like the cross country, whatever. Just like sports. It feels like a billion sports.
Yep.
All from the school, even golf and stuff, from the school, as well as music.
Yeah.
Like musical programs. So, is it also like individual stuff that you can have, or is it always like a band? I've only seen bands.
I would say majority is just band or marching bands, but like if you go to certain high schools, I wouldn't doubt that some schools have individual things, but on whole, it's just bands, group things. Yeah.
So yeah, that just always struck me 'cause when I went to the US, like a football game,
Yeah.
and like a Friday afternoon football game,
Packed, right?
like back at like it's our school playing against someone else.
Yeah.
But we are having the match at our
Yeah,
school.
right? Packed,
And
right?
then that's like everybody's there. Everybody.
Like
is
the
at
whole town?
game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like all the students,
Yeah.
or let's say at least like 80% of the students are going to be there,
Yep.
plus the family of the players. you
Yep.
know, and they're all going to be like,
Yeah. It's
you know?
crazy.
And yep.
Yeah, I would say to me, and the thing is, because football is so popular, I think it gets to a lot of players' heads. That's another topic. But no, it's really popular, like especially football. Like for me, I felt like the whole town was like a town thing. Like, hey, you got a game tonight, everyone get out. And like even at school, like on game day, people in my school, like the cheerleaders would be in their uniforms, the football players would have their jersey on, and then we have a pep rally. Can you believe that? The whole school would get together for like a pep rally to hype them up before their game. Like, yeah, it was, yeah. And then at the game, you know, the whole bleachers filled with students cheering, you know, it's a whole event. It's a whole thing. Yeah.
I was in the marching band and the pep band when I was in the US. So marching band, we played always before the football games.
Yeah.
And then like every time there's a touchdown or a break or anything that like stops the game, we had to play a little something.
Yep. Yeah.
And on the football games, it was so the show, we had like the halftime show we did, and that was always the same.
Yeah.
Same as everything. But so we had a total of like 4 songs.
Yeah.
It wasn't very diverse. But then the pep band, then we played only for basketball games.
Yeah. Okay.
And this was fucking cool because we had like 60 songs, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had so many songs. And the first one was always Seven Nation Army.
Okay.
You know,
oh, yeah, that's such a problem. Yeah.
And so we had like, and we were also like, I don't remember, like 40, 50 people maybe.
In the band?
In the band, yeah. And that was small compared to other schools.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
And that is, I gotta be honest, that's like one of my most cherished memories ever because I'm in the middle of the bleachers, you know,
right.
And then the people, the players are waiting to like run out, you know, and then it would start out always with the bass, you know, it's just then,
yeah,
it's
right.
so soft, you know, and then the percussions came in with like. You know?
It like builds the hype, right?
Yeah. And then after like just one time going through the whole thing, and then everybody had like, you know, you gotta imagine like 10 trumpets, 5 saxophones, and then you had like what's it called in English, the big thing, the tuba.
Oh yeah,
and stuff, and then everybody would just, and then you feel it,
the vibrations, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
And this I just love.
Yeah, it's a fun thing. Like. For me, I feel like a lot of the times I'm not really a sports person, but I would go for the fun of the game, the vibe. Yeah, it was
community.
Yeah, it's community. And just like you're there with your friends, everyone's like, you know, good music, the vibe. It's just kind of, to me, it was more like a fun hangout and then like the game in the background. But a lot of people did go, you know, for the game. But yeah, sports is a huge thing. Yeah.
And that's really one thing I enjoyed the most because it was it felt like you're part of something, you know, sense of community, like a basic human longing for it.
Yeah, right.
And in Switzerland, it was really just like when you had like a soccer game, like nobody could give a shit, you know, that maybe your parents were there, like maybe one friend, so like 14 people were watching, and, you know, different vibe.
Yeah, I think.
Different vibe.
Yeah, I think sports in the US is just big.
We also had one time. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
They always had an ambulance right next to the football field during the football games.
Yeah.
And then one of the other team's players, they had like a run-in, and then he fell down and he had a seizure, started twitching, and he couldn't move like voluntarily anymore. So all of our team, they built like a half circle around him. All went on one knee, took down their helmet. It was super quiet. Like at first everyone was screaming, you know, then this happened and it was dead silence. Everybody in the bleachers, they stood up, take off their hat. Everybody's just watching, and it's so tense. And then the EMT guys, they come, they, you know, do something, and then he stands up, he walks off the field. And then all of our players, they put their helmet in there, and everybody's like, Let's fucking go.
Yeah, that sounds exactly how it is.
Yeah, that was.
That's true. I never thought about it like that, but I think because it just was so normal to me, but it is like a sense of community, you know, getting together. It's just a fun time, and it feels like everyone's just one.
Yeah.
Just like, hey guys, you can do it.
That is one thing I really enjoyed from the American culture.
Yeah. Sports is a really huge thing. It goes deep. Yeah.
So, in the US, you advertise drugs on TV.
A lot.
So, have you noticed? So, you've also been to Europe quite a bit, right? So, and you said your family lives in Germany, right?
Yeah. They're living there right now. Yeah.
So, like, do you ever watch TV?
Yeah, sometimes.
Do you notice like
I did
difference?
That's one of like, I think watching TV here in Korea and then TV there, I feel this. Wait a second, they're not like throwing ads in my face every like at like 2 speed for so many different drugs. And I think I first noticed it when I came here to Korea, and I was like, wait a second.
What the hell?
Yeah, like no one's advertising so many drugs, and then I think I felt the difference. Like really felt like I just thought about it, but it wasn't that big. But when I had visited the U.S. again after being abroad, I was like, holy shit! Can I say bad words?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, wow, they're just. It's just in your face. Every commercial, and it's like so fast, and then like it's just too much. And then after they say the drug, it's just like, by the way.
That's one thing that fucking baffled me.
Right?
It was really, you have like, first you see a few people who look kind of sick.
Yep.
And they're like, oh no, my life sucks. And then they're like, take this drug. It's a miracle. And then you see some like 90-year-old guy, he's jacked, he's running around on the beach, you know? And then he's like, happy life. And now because of this, I can live 300 years or something, you know? Yeah. And then like in the last 5 seconds, they squeeze in at like super high speed. And like, by the way, you can lose a foot, you can die. And like,
you have worse symptoms than when you started.
Yeah, like you have like a heart issue, and then it says like side effect heart attack.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
No, it's crazy. It really is crazy. And that made me think about like the whole big pharma of the big industry. They just want money, which goes, I think that shows you our healthcare directly just from those advertisements, you know? Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know why.
But speaking of healthcare, so in the US, what's like the healthcare system like? As an average citizen, do you have to have any kind of like insurance?
I'm pretty sure you do. I should probably check to be sure, because since I'm a dependent, you know, I was a minor, I didn't really think about it. But as far as I know, everyone is supposed to have insurance, and you get it either through your job or insurance company, and then every month you're like paying towards the insurance. So it's supposed to make it cheaper for when you visit the doctors or do a checkup or need medicine. But it's still expensive.
Is it expensive?
I think it depends on what plan you have, because there's so many different plans and stuff.
Like an average base, you know?
No, I'm not really sure.
Like,
I don't know exactly everything, because you know, it's mostly for my parents' jobs they provided for us. That's one thing I'm not looking forward to. I thought, oh man, if I move back to the US, I need to like start thinking about that, you know? But
yeah, that's one part that sucks of growing up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh wait, but I think it's still expensive and slow. Like when I came to Korea, I wear glasses, and I've worn my whole life, and like getting a new pair of glasses, man, I wish I could tell you the price, but I forgot. But it wasn't like a cheap kind of thing. And then, you know, eye exams, checkups. Thankfully, my mom's job provided like insurance for like eye insurance. That's the thing, there's different kinds of insurance for the body. And but I came to Korea, and I just walked into like, you know, a little glasses store, and I was expecting that it would take like 2 weeks or a little bit of time to get it ready, because that's how it's in the US. But they were like, okay, which one do you want? I'm like, oh, I like this frame. They're like, okay, come do the eye test. And then like, do you have insurance? I'm like, oh no, not in Korea. I'm like, okay, that's fine. and then they just made the glasses on the spot, so easy, so affordable, and I was like, what? Like, I didn't need anything. It was like, oh yeah, you're a new customer. Okay, so we'll get you set up right away, pick up what you want, eye exam, everything. This is your lens, prescription. Done. And I was like, what the heck? And I remember I told my parents, and they're like, yeah, buy some more glasses before you go. Like, buy some more things. And like, everything's just so much more affordable with or without insurance, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it's like that in Europe too.
Yeah, that really depends on where in Europe. Okay. Because, for example, in Switzerland, you pay insurance, and it is expensive.
Switzerland's expensive.
I mean, of course, that's the same thing. It depends on what kind of plan you get. But if you compare it to like Denmark and Sweden and Finland, it's ridiculous. They pay nothing.
Really?
It's free, completely free.
Yeah.
I mean, only like, let's call it unnecessary in terms of you don't need it. If you wanted like a plastic surgery, for example, just for fun. I mean, for fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just you don't need it for survival.
Yeah.
Then you would have to pay something, but otherwise, if you go because you're sick or something, you pay nothing.
That's amazing.
But the deal is just that you pay higher taxes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah, but apparently the people over there, they are, let's call it, more okay with paying higher taxes because they know how much they
get back from it. Yeah, that's and they have free school and free healthcare.
That is so awesome. I mean, in Switzerland, it's still basically nothing compared to the US. We pay like $700 per semester.
Yeah,
which is very doable if you if you think of how much you get for it.
Yeah, but I think it's very doable.
Like in for example, your university back in the US. Do you know what your tuition is?
Actually, that's a good question. So so for my situation, I actually had scholarships. So the first 2 years I didn't pay anything because scholarships. But I probably should look up the tuition for the school. I forgot. But I do remember something that stood out to me was I got accepted into some school in the US, and the tuition for like a year was like $75,000 because it was like a private university.
$70,000 for a year. And how many years do you go there?
4.
4 years. Okay. And
I was like, what?
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
I was like, first I was like, oh yeah, I got it, yeah. And then I was like, what? What do you mean? Like, I mean, I knew I've always heard it's expensive, and that's just a really extreme case because if you go to like a more local college, it could be only like $8,000 a year. 8,000.
Okay. Yeah. But that's still, I would say,
high.
High compared to like our prices, but still that's
doable. It's doable. Yeah, because it's like, that's the thing. I feel like there's a picture that everything's expensive, like every college. I think it depends on which college you go to. Let's say if you go to, the higher rank college, then it'll be expensive. But if you stay like local or just community colleges or just a regular college, I guess not as known or something, it's okay. It's doable, I would say. Doable. And the thing is in the US that's so annoying is that it depends on your state. So like if you would you study Indiana?
Indiana, yeah.
And let's say you want to go to school in Florida, you're going to pay higher price. They call it in-state tuition, out-of-state tuition.
Really?
Yeah, which I hate. But yeah, so like if you're a resident of Indiana, you'll pay like, it could be almost like half the price of someone going out of state. Yeah, so there's also that. So location and school really plays a part into it. But yeah, like I said, the more like community college or just regular colleges, it's doable. Doable in American sense. Compared to other places, it's so much cheaper. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, school's crazy expensive. That's part of the reason why I came here too.
How much did you pay for here? I thought it's also like $3,500 per semester.
Yeah, it's like $3,000, but I also still have my scholarship coming, so it's still covering it.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah, it's nice, right? So, but the thing is, like, I know my dad told me growing up, the one thing he wanted, like, don't get the debt from school, because some people take out student loans. It's like, just don't do it, Kayla. It's not worth it. Don't do it. So I think in high school, he pushed me really hard to like do certain things to, move around the expenses, study hard, get, good grades. And I also took some college courses in high school. So I can like finish debt free. But yeah, a lot of people have student loans, and I know they pay it well off into their 30s. They're still like paying off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. I remember I met people from the Netherlands, and they're like, "Yeah, we paid like 500 euros this semester." I said, "You paid what?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's normal." I was like, "Oh wow, okay, that's amazing for you."
And the expensive thing in Europe, I would say, in terms of studying, is really just the living around it.
Yeah.
The apartment, the food,
Yeah,
insurance.
part of me feels like part of me feels like, oh man, what would life be like if I studied in Europe instead of Korea, But at that time, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, you can still do your master's or something.
That's true. I've been thinking about it though. I've been thinking.
Yeah. Why not? I can recommend it. Now, one thing that astonished me in the US was how you can buy guns everywhere.
Yeah.
So you were born in Florida, grew up in California. Right?
Yeah.
So you've seen a bunch of states so far. So for example, in California, how easy is it to get a gun? Is it like also like at Walmart already, or is it still like gun store?
Honestly, I think at Walmart there's like, the basic yeah, it was like the basic guns, but I think it also depends on which Walmart you go to, but I'm pretty sure that they're there, but not every Walmart. Because I just remember being shocked, younger, being like, what, they sell guns here? And that also shocked me too. But I will say it's just weird. Like, as I know, I went to school with like some people and they had guns. Like, I was like, what's going on here? Like,
you mean like on them or at home?
At home.
Okay.
Yeah, not on them. Yeah, thankfully not on them, like at home.
Yeah.
And it was like a family thing. Like their parents would get them guns. Like, oh my gosh, my dad gave me this. And I remember being so like shocked. Like I think there's like really a division of people in the U.S. where they're like, guns are just, it's all right.
Yeah.
What's the problem? I'm not gonna hurt anyone. And the other half was like, what the heck is the need for this? But yeah, I was really shocked. I was like, what? Like we're in high school and then they'll just be posting pictures like, look what I got for my birthday. Or like, yeah, it's shocking. And I was like, what is going on here? And I've seen like people, like some families, like it's like a tradition, like, oh, your family turned a certain age, let's get your first gun, let's go to a shooting range. Yeah, dad, thanks, And it's crazy. That to me is really insane. Like, why? We're just teenagers. Why do you have a gun? And I think to me, like the most shocking thing I've ever seen was, like I said, I'm talking about the same person from high school. They had like an automatic like rifle. That's the thing. It wasn't even like just like a small like handgun. Yeah. It was like a full like weapon. Like everything's a weapon. But I was like, I know what you mean. I was just so shocked. I was like, what? Why? Like, what's going on? So, and the U.S. has a bad image around this, so that's why I had a motto like in high school: just be nice to everyone. Just be nice to everyone. Everyone's my friend. You're cool. I don't want to get on anyone's bad side. I'm not gonna like no. Everyone's just because you just these days you just really don't know. So I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. That's really crazy.
It's crazy, right?
When I was in the U.S., was actually one of the very first things my host father showed me was the gun safe.
Really? Yeah. That's the thing that's crazy. Some people are like, why? Like, why is that the first thing you're seeing?
And I was just wondering, like, is he trying to scare me?
Yeah.
Like,
and why would he do
something?
Yeah.
Just no. But and I mean, it was because I've always loved guns, but in a very different context.
Yeah.
Because I've actually heard a lot of Americans use the excuse, look at Switzerland. They all have guns as well, and nothing happens over there. And the thing is just with us that in the average man who goes to the military, you can keep your gun after.
Oh, okay.
And most would
keep them, yeah.
And I mean, of course, not everybody, but for example, I still have mine. But in Switzerland, it's not really called a gun; it's more a sporting device because you go to the 300-meter range and you shoot your 10 bullets or whatever, and you fuck off again. That's it.
Yeah.
And in Switzerland, when you see someone with a gun, it's never, oh shit, he has a gun. It's always, this poor guy has to go to the military.
Yeah.
So, but very different atmosphere around it.
But I guess like that just goes to show you the I'm gonna say sanity. I don't know what the right word is, because no one in Switzerland is crazy enough to take that gun in public and be like, oh, you know what? Let's just shoot people today. Like,
Yeah, I mean, our rules are also a lot more harsh.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm not sure if you could legally carry a gun like this, but it's always you have to keep the parts separately. There's, so first of all, ammo and gun can't be the same place, so, and also I don't know the word for this specific part of the gun, but it's like without this part, that's the part where the bullet would like fly through.
Oh, yeah.
If you have to take it out. So even if you put ammo in it, it's not going to work.
Okay.
So not even if you wanted to, nothing could happen. That's a point, So if you walk around, you could only use the gun as a stick.
Yeah, right.
Nothing's gonna happen. And because it's also this, in terms of this, it's so much more safe.
Yeah.
Because that's also in the military, the CIFOs, Sicherheitsvorschriften, the rules of safety, get beaten into your head like every day, especially at the beginning, just to make it insanely clear. I mean, yes, we're in the Swiss military. We're probably not going to go to war, hopefully, but still, it's still a real gun. So you can still kill someone.
You can't. Yeah, right. But
so yeah, that's why safety is a lot more.
Yeah, that's why I feel like Americans, I don't know, their arguments are so like you said, the whole Switzerland has gun. But first of all, I feel like most of those people say that has never even left the States. And like they don't really understand how different it is. Like you said, our harsh laws, our rules that you have. Because you said in the US, it's just like, let's go to Walmart and buy a gun. Like, what?
Yeah. And you could never do that in Switzerland.
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
It's so much harder if you just want to buy a gun.
And would a teenager have a gun?
No.
Yeah. What?
No, never.
That's the thing. It's crazy. What? Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
Like in everybody I know in Switzerland, besides the guys who I'm from the military, I only know one, and that's like my dad's cousin. Who's 50 plus, and she's a hunter. And with him, that was also the first time I went shooting was with him as well. And so it was very, be very careful.
Yeah,
you do exactly what I say.
Yeah.
And we only touch the gun, because that's also a rule. You're not allowed to like touch your gun before you are already laying down, ready to shoot at the target. You can't walk around.
Like walk around holding it. Yeah.
Even at the shooting range itself, it's already this.
No, don't touch it until it's ready. Like you're ready in position. Like don't walk around with it loaded. Yeah. There's a lot to learn from that.
So at the school, did you also have like cops at the school?
Oh yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. I wouldn't say a lot. But it does depend where you live. I know, because some schools started getting like metal detectors as you walk in. I never had that, but at school, like maybe you have like 1 to 2 or 3. You just kind of walk around. But when I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't notice, like when I first started school in kindergarten, I didn't see police at school. But the older I got, the more I started to notice that, we have police here. So, there's like the campus police. And I think especially these days, everyone's extra cautious. And they take any threats so seriously. Any and all threats are so serious. Yeah.
Yeah, that one thing was really crazy, because we had a cop at school, and he did have a gun. And he was just standing around, I think just like marking his presence, showing that if shit goes down,
he's there. Yeah.
And I mean, as you said, they take really every threat seriously. One time, a kid from our school was sent home because he did this with his fingers.
Yeah.
He was sent home right away. And another time, somebody put something with like aluminum foil in the microwave. It started smelling. And everybody was like, "Everybody get out. This is gonna blow up," and they thought somebody was like doing this on purpose, like blow up the microwave or something.
Yeah, the U.S. have you ever had any situation, I hope you didn't, but like any lockdown or like school shooting lockdown or something?
We had drills, but never a real case.
Yeah.
Because all the doors were like super fat.
Yeah.
And they all lock right away as soon as you close them, and they have cameras everywhere.
Oh, that's
and so it's so weird because in Switzerland, it was really like, if you compare Switzerland to the US in terms of school, it really seems like in Switzerland, you don't give a shit. You would never see that there's no camera, or I guess maybe some,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, but like in common sense ways. And the US was really every corner, they got eyes on it.
Yeah.
And so we had to, like, all the lights go out, the doors close automatically, and they lock right away. We had to go under our tables, lights go out, and then you see on the security footage, you see a couple of guys with like not rifles, like an MP5 or something, like a small, it's still not an automatic gun, but it's not a big one.
Yeah.
And they just walk through the halls.
It's a fake thing?
No, I guess they were real.
Oh.
But I mean, it was a drill.
Oh, the drill. Okay, so they. Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you meant the gun.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's a real gun, but it's a drill.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you meant like it was a real shooter. Like just walking.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I wouldn't speak so casually.
Yeah.
No, just a drill, and there was just the cops walking. Like this,
Okay. Yeah.
Just so that we would know.
Yeah, it's a sad reality. It's really like
Did you ever experience anything like that?
I have never had an active shooter at school, but I've had like threats. Like my youngest thing I think I've ever experienced was elementary, but it was like a bank near our school got robbed, and for precaution, they made us go into lockdown.
Okay.
Because the guy ran away, so they're like, "Oh, you just locked down." It was elementary, and then middle school, I had like a bomb threat, and someone online was like, "Oh, I'm gonna blow the school up." I didn't know that until I got to school, because like we have the gates to walk in. They just wouldn't let anyone come in. So I was like, oh, what the heck? Like, why did I go to school in the morning? But I think because of those threats, they didn't let anyone go on campus, and they just had our parents pick us up to go home. And then luckily I've had no like active shooter thing. And then in college one time, there was like a guy threatened to like come shoot his girlfriend in class. So the police like...
That happened?
No.
Or he just wanted to?
He made threats. I don't know how it happened, but somehow the police found out. So I was so grateful I was late that day. So I was driving to school, and like someone was like, I was pulling in and like, just turn around, don't go. And I was like, why? Like, I think there's something going on, don't go to school. But I was like, okay. But like, I can't just I thought I should see first, because I didn't want to like lose my attendance or something, right? What the heck? And so I go, and then I see like the police staying outside and everyone, and I was like, what's going on? They're like, oh, we have an active like threat, someone to shoot someone. And anyone who was already in the building couldn't come out, and anyone outside couldn't go in. So like my friend was like in there, she's like, oh my gosh, look, I can't leave. And I was like, I'm so sorry, but I'm going home. Like I left so fast. I was like, you don't have to tell me twice. I was like speeding home. I was like, no. Luckily nothing happened. But so I've never experienced like a real shooting, but I've had just like threats, and they took them really serious. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you had to grow up with like,
it's
that
crazy.
atmosphere.
That's why I feel like, I think like, is that worth it? To live in the States, like, sure, you have like I have my comforts, but I'm asking myself this question. Like, I have my comforts of the US, but is it worth my life? Like, always like paranoid, like that stress. Yeah. I ask myself that, when it comes to living in the US or living abroad. Because Korea, my main thing is like, oh, I hate that I can't like just talk to people, be independent, take care of my own things. I just miss that I could just do things for myself, or I just know how things are done. I'm like, was it that bad compared to like,
Be scared.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yesterday I was at a Baskin Robbins.
Yeah.
I had some ice cream before I got home. And the woman talked to me. She was a Korean woman. She talked to me in Korean.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't speak Korean, so I just showed her the translation.
Yeah.
Like, can I have 3 scoops?
Yeah.
And then she answered in English, and she was like, hey, what size do you want? And I was like, do you speak English? So let's just talk in English. And then every other thing, she kept talking Korean to me. And the first phrase was like in English, and she spoke English definitely well enough for this interaction.
Yeah.
But she kept speaking in Korean, and I was like, every time she said something, I had to be like, what?
Yeah.
So she had to say it again in English. I was like,
so she would ask you, that's weird.
Yeah, ask me in Korean, did I have to be what?
Yeah.
And then she said it again in English, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, let's do it. Yeah, that's just
Really?
I'm so excited to like when back home, I don't have to like
deal with that
translator or like hope they understand me correctly, because every time I'm in a restaurant, I order something.
Yeah.
There's always like, I hope we don't
Yeah,
look
right,
at
right.
that.
I hope this is the right thing. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, yeah. I get that. I understand that.
So in America, another big issue is racism.
Yeah.
And if I may ask,
Yeah.
have you ever experienced?
Yeah, I feel like definitely. I think anyone growing up in the US who's not white has experienced racism at least some point in time.
But in what form, if I may ask?
I think the most racism I've encountered is probably just from school, like just people like saying really just messed up things, or like yeah, what's allowed. Like it's like people never get punished for doing things. Yeah, it's a sad thing. I feel like everyone's just accepting it. It's like makes you so angry. You kind of freeze. It's like, what do you do? And then it's like no one really does anything. But it's mostly just words for that I've experienced. And yeah, but I know, I think, yeah, just anyone who's not white has experienced all kind of racism. I think the first form of racism starts in school for anyone. Even if I grew up in...
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the school I went to is predominantly white, but it was a lot of other people there, I guess, races. But it was definitely one of those things. And like to the point where like, since it was a predominantly white school, and I think immature people, kids, everything is funny, I hated anything that was like about slavery or like Black History Month. Those times in school, I just wanted to just like not be there.
Why? Was it like, were you like treated differently? Or
no, it's just like, what's allowed?
White guilt or what?
Yeah, no, it's like, it's just, you know, every time I think you do that and you're in a predominantly white school, it's like you always have that one just asshole that's gonna like, you know, use it to like make fun of you or like to bully you, or like, it's just, I don't know, somehow it happens where it's like they're trying to be funny or they're just trying to be outright rude. And I remember like just growing up, there wasn't a lot of Black people, but I had friends and she'd be like, oh my gosh, Kayla, you meet me in the bathroom. I just can't be in the class today because you just, and it's just, there's like no awareness or something. And I think for me, growing up in the US, I think, you know, the N-word is like a big thing. But one thing I hated was, especially predominantly white school, was anytime we read like old literature or books for like English.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that.
I hated that. And like, it would be like just me, the only Black person in class, and the teacher would be like, okay guys, let's do popcorn reading. Like they choose like someone to read. And she's like, if you guys say the N-word, just, you know, we don't really mean it. You know, it's nothing bad harm. And I'm like, do you think these young teenage boys are gonna have no harm for it? And they would just let it happen. And the teacher would say it, students would say it, and I would just be sitting there like, oh, and then, you know, then you get the looks back. And it's just like, you say, it's just so, I hate it. And then it wasn't until I got to like college where I met my first professor. He was like, we're reading this book, but no one's allowed to say this word. Like, that's just unprofessional. And I was like, after class, I talked to him. You know, I'm like freshman in college. This is the first time I've ever felt someone like actually like say like, this is not okay. No one make jokes. No, like, you know, so, but yeah, I think there's definitely, or like the whole, like, I'm not stereotypically Black. So it's like, oh, you're like a white person. Like people always tell me that. And it makes me upset.
What do you mean?
They're like, oh, you don't act Black. Like you talk white. Yeah, like really? I've had it so much like, oh, you know, you talk like a white person, like you're white, or just because I'm not acting like what you see in the media, like as the stereotypical Black person, or
it's
like
a stupid thing to say.
It's so, and then like even like they come from my family, like I've had people like, oh, you live like that, you're like a white girl, like you're like whitewashed or something.
Really?
Yeah, I've had a lot, and I'm like, why? What makes me whitewashed? Because I'm just talking normally.
What does whitewash mean? Like,
for example,
turned into white?
No, like whitewash basically mean you're acting like a white person.
Okay.
Which means in their context, like I'm not speaking with like, they call it AAVE or Ebonics or something. You know, like what you see on like rappers and media. Yeah. I don't talk like that.
Oh, that's sort of like a slang kind of thing.
Slang kind of thing. I'm not talking like, you know, what you see animated maybe. You know, I'm not walking around and or just anything. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what? I'm like, yeah. Or it's just stupid things in school, or like people would just say really messed up things, and it was just like, oh well, like school wouldn't do anything about it. And I think everyone's faced that, and like it's just, yeah, yeah. But not only Black people, I think everyone, like my Asian friends, Middle Eastern friends, it's always gonna happen. I think, and I think its first form starts in school, and then I think after that you get to like the workplace, you can experience there, and so on. But yeah. Okay. And then these days, I think it's worse because people are. What I've noticed that after Trump is that it got more violent. Like it was like okay to be violent. Like people would say stuff, but it was like I've noticed there was a switch. Like after Trump was elected, it was like they're okay with speaking or acting violent towards you in public.
Really?
Yeah, that was a big change. I was like noticed. Whereas like people would kind of secretly be racist, but they wouldn't really say anything. But like after that, it was like, I think after Trump is like, you noticed it, like they were like not afraid to be racist anymore. So it was like, okay, that's
crazy.
Yeah, but thankfully I haven't had anything like horrible. And I think also me being a girl changes things too. I'm sure being a guy, they've experienced worse things than me. I mean, it's still can be bad, but I think guys experience worse things than I have personally been through. It's like more, they have more like dangerous stereotypes, or people are more aggressive to them because they're a guy, so yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Yeah.
When I was in the US, I was gonna say my school was definitely
predominantly white.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And we all saw the same exact thing that you said when we were reading a book.
Yeah.
I hate which one it was, like Of Mice and Men or something. It was one of the classics.
The classics. Was it Mockingbird or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there, it really seems like every other word.
Yeah. That's why it feels. Yeah.
And the teacher, he said like, yeah, you can say it, like just read it because it's in the book.
Yeah.
And then he was reading it. Like with too much passion.
That's the point. Like there's a difference of reading it, but it was like it felt like, oh my gosh, and like it's like a room full of people, and then like when like I hated like the teacher saying it, okay, it's something weird, but then I hate it when teacher, okay, everyone in the class just read it like aloud to the whole.
Exactly. Like that.
That's what I said, and like it was like the ways that are passion, especially when I got to kids, it was like, oh yeah, finally I haven't passed. That's how they felt, because like I can't get in trouble, and, they can't blame me.
Yeah.
And I was like. I just remember being like, everyone in that class that was, I think there was 2 other Black people, or like 1/2 Black something. We all looked at each other. It was just like this feeling of just like, oh my gosh. And like, why is no one like, why is this allowed or something? And I remember, I mean, it's not funny, but I remember like, even we took Spanish, and in Spanish, Black is like negra or something.
Yeah. But that literally just means the
Black.
color.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But like they try to make a play on it to like N-words, so they all just come up to me, Kayla, do you have the color? Like I need to color my pen, And it was like to like like indirectly, do stuff. So it's kind of like, oh, it's not a good feeling, this kind of thing. But I think it's just a sad reality that, yeah.
Yeah.
Not to turn the conversation down, I'm okay, everyone, but it's sad.
So how's it been for you here in South Korea?
Korea, that's the thing, I felt like, because when I first came to Korea, my dad was actually here, and he was working here. Actually, he was doing some working, and I asked him, Dad, like, did you get racism from Koreans working with them, because it was like a mixed thing? He's like, no, only time I get racism is from other Americans.
Really?
Yeah, like, because he was kind of the boss. I think the worst thing that's happened to him is like he was the boss of the Korean side and the American side together. Like the American, on his desk, they would come in and like write monkeys and like go back to your country, because he's not originally from the U.S. and like say so outlandish stuff to him, because I don't think they liked that a Black guy was in charge of them. But it was only come from the American side. The Koreans were like just chill. I mean, there are racist Koreans, but what I've noticed is that Koreans are not going to outright say it to you. Yeah. They're going to keep it, like, they'll probably feel it inside or like move away from you, but they're not going to ever like go in your face in person and like do something about it. Like direct. Yeah, not direct. So I felt like that's the one thing I felt here is like I've never had like someone like do something or say something to me. Maybe they might avoid me or give me a look. But I think me and my dad both came to the same conclusion. It's like, no one's going to do anything about it, you know? Like, they're going to be racist, but so what? They're not going to attack me or say something to me. Maybe they'll, like, go away from me, give me a dirty look.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Korea, thankfully, I don't think it's the case for everyone, but thankfully, I haven't had anything bad happen to me, racist-wise. I've heard other bad experiences. Thankfully for me, I've been kind of just okay.
Okay. Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've been okay, and but I think for me, one thing is Korea. I think they have points. I think because I'm not African, like from Africa, that they treat me better.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
So you said your dad's not from the U.S. Where's he from?
He's from Jamaica, the Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah. So
does that make like a difference?
No, he's fine. He was fine, but I'm saying like I know people here and it's like when Koreans ask you, where are you from? You get a different response, I think, to them. If you say, oh, I'm from the US, oh, I'm from Europe, I'm from France, or something, compared to, oh, I'm from like Ghana, I'm from Africa. Then it's like they kind of, you can tell, it's like kind of a slight difference of how it's like since I'm not like African Black, I'm like American Black. They're like, okay. That's better. Yeah, I don't know, but it's
okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was
like it's like a point system, you know? I think Korea is always about status, you know? It's like, what school did you went to? Where are you from? You know, it's like, so in their head, they're like calculating, okay, how far in the range did you go? Seriously, that's what I feel. Yeah. So, but thankfully, it's been pretty okay here. I haven't had anything bad happen, so I hope it stays that way. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've also never been, I've never experienced anything aggressive or something.
Yeah.
Just some, so I get stared at a lot.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
But I guess it's also just because the height difference. I would.
Yeah, I think it's height difference and tattoos. I think.
Yes, I've had so many, especially older people, like in the train, they stare at me.
Yeah, they're crazy. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude. I mean, it's okay if you've never seen me, but come on, I'm not that different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think there's a difference in like how you look at someone.
Yep.
You know?
There's
always like a difference in. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You know, because I've had like one time in the gym in the locker room, there came a guy and he was like, I love your tattoo.
Yeah,
It's fucking awesome. You know, a Korean guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, thanks. And that's such a nice interaction.
Yeah, right.
But then I've had in the training someone and he was like,
yep.
You know,
I know what you mean.
Blank, just stares at
and there's no like shame either. No moving eye contact, just like gonna stare you down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a thing. I think like I've had my friends who've been here for long term, like longer than me, I guess, they've said either just stopped noticing, or I had one friend that he would just like full on stare back with staring contest. Like, is there a problem? Like, you know, given the same treatment. But yeah, I think the staring is like one of the biggest things here. Just people looking.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I did have one time I was playing billiard. The Korean guy came up, and he was like, "It's good, it's cool, and stuff." And he could barely speak English, but he was like, Kazakhstan? And I was, what? Are you from Kazakhstan? And I was like, no.
That's so random.
Yeah. It was just like out of nowhere, like, what made you think that? And he was like, and he didn't understand.
Yeah,
so
right.
I was like, from Switzerland. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the rest was okay. I mean, I mean, I didn't take it up as like evil or
something bad. Yeah, I haven't had anything. I think I had one time. It's not funny, but it's kind of like, what? I think I was outside of Seoul, kind of countryside, and I was with my one friend she's from Canada, but she's also Black. And there was an old guy, grandpa, with his 2 grandchildren. He didn't say anything bad, but he was like, oh, say hi to them, say hi. And the kids were so cute. Hello, you know? And then he said, where are you from? And then I was like, U.S., Canada. He was like, no. You know, he's just like, no,
that can't be true.
Yeah, he's like, that's not right. And then he's like, no, where are you from? And I was like, Canada. And he's like, US. No. He's like, but, and I was like, and then at that point, we're like, yeah, whatever, we're just from Africa. Sure. He's like, okay. You know, it was like, what do you want me to say? But I don't know if that's because he's old, ignorant, just out of the U. I don't know. But I was just like, what? Okay. He just like refused to believe. No way. No way you could be from the US. No way you're from Canada. So I was like, guys, I don't know. That's what they don't understand. I'm like, what are we talking about? What are you?
Generations.
Yeah, I think it's just he was really old, so I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt.
Mm.
But I don't understand because like they love people like Kobe or like football or sports people or famous people, and like, don't you know they're also from the U.S.? Do you think that's like the only standard for like, you know? I was like, what logic are you using? But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Florida, that was the favorite part.
Yeah.
I found some Florida man stories.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So one headline. So I just found a bunch of headlines that sound just fucking crazy. So one of them is Florida man charged with assault with a deadly weapon after throwing an alligator through a Wendy's drive-through window.
There's so many things to digest in there.
Yeah.
What? An alligator through a Wendy's window.
Yeah, so basically he went to a Wendy's drive-through and he threw a live alligator.
It was live.
Yeah, because it counts as a deadly weapon because the alligator is considered the deadly weapon.
Yeah, it was a lot. How do you even pick up?
Honestly, just hats off to that guy because how can you even
hats off to that
throw an alligator
That's
without
what I'm thinking too.
yourself?
How the heck? And then through a Wendy's. Why did he? Like, there's so many things to.
Yeah, there's just why.
Yeah, like, and why was he throwing it through the window? Like at Wendy's. Why just have an alligator with him casually? You know. Yeah, sounds like Florida.
Crazy story.
Yeah, sounds like Florida. Yeah, there's a lot of Florida man headlines.
Yeah, another one is thousands of gun owners in Florida are planning to shoot Hurricane Irma, and the headline was, "Let's show them that we shoot first." So they were shooting at
They actually
a hurricane. Yeah,
They were actually shooting.
Yeah,
it.
they were shooting at a hurricane to make it go away because science.
Yeah, I thought it was like a joke. I didn't know they were gonna like
Yes.
actually do it. Yeah.
And then Florida man denies drinking and driving because he only drank bourbon at stop signs. Because he was not driving while he was drinking. He was standing.
No, I didn't drink when I was stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, that honestly sounds like Florida. Florida has the reputation of being the crackhead state of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard that before, but I know when I came to Korea, someone told me, they're like, "Are you in Florida? It's not like the crackhead crazy state." And I was like, "Wait a second, how do you know that? It's spread that far?"
Yeah, I think it's just honestly a lot because of the headlines. Because that's such a meme nowadays.
It is such a meme because it's crazy, and I don't know why it's only Florida or why these people are there doing what they do. No shame, you know.
Yeah,
they take pride in it. Like, yeah, this is Florida.
It's just America, the land of the dreams. You know, you got to be yourself.
Yeah, I think that is just American thing. Yeah.
I found one guy. Florida man gives police exonerating dashcam video following a traffic incident. Mm-hmm. So after having an accident, he showed the cops his dashcam footage, and then it accidentally included a video of him robbing a beauty store. So instead of
himself.
So there's a saying in German, vom Regen in die Traufe, which basically means like you go from one bad situation, you get out of it, but right into another.
Damn. And why? Of him robbing a beauty store. Mm-hmm. So I forgot that part.
And then Florida man arrested in local park for practicing karate on swans.
Swans.
It was fighting swans.
Like, the thing is, I'm shocked that I'm not shocked. That's the thing, you know?
Yeah, it's surprisingly normal for like those.
Yeah, it sounds like, I feel like I saw so many Florida headlines. It's like, wow.
There's one insane one. There's a politician was reportedly dressed in an ironic KKK costume at a Halloween party in 2012. And he allegedly got into a brawl with a man in drag. So he fighted a drag queen.
Yeah.
And leading to his bust for aggravated assault. But it didn't stop him from running for mayor in the small city of Wilton Manors 2 years later.
Did he win? I'm sure they didn't put there, but...
I don't know if he actually got
So he dressed as KKK, then got in a fight with the drag queen. And then said...
And he's like, I want to be mayor. Logical conclusion.
Honestly, that sounds really a perfect representation, not only for Florida, but the South. You know? It just seems...
Seems all right.
Yeah, it seems like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can totally see, Because that's another thing. I feel like, I'm sure you know, like, the South are, like, the South is more conservative,
Mm-hmm.
where the West Coast, I think, and maybe North is more like liberal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it kind of seems like a Florida thing. It seems, yeah, it seems about right. Seems about right.
There's a bunch of just stupid ones too, like Florida cop claims Burger King put dirt on his food. Turns out it's seasoning.
What?
And then Florida man tries to evade arrest by cartwheeling away from the cops.
Cartwheeling.
He just sees like in front of the cops, he's like, I'm out of here. Starts cartwheeling
Not
away.
even running, just let me do cartwheel.
Yeah.
Throw him off.
And then a Florida couple,
Mhm.
so a man and a woman, they were trapped in a
Yeah.
closet for 2 days
What?
until they noticed it was unlocked.
No. No.
And in 2019, Florida man arrested for trying to get his alligator drunk.
It's alligator.
Yeah, he fed the alligator beer, and the alligator didn't like that, so he was arrested.
No, what? And why are so many people with the alligators?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not like a. Do you run across alligators a lot?
Florida is like an alligator state
Okay.
because there's a lot of alligators. I mean, yeah, it makes sense because there's like something called like the Everglades, and they all live in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know why people are messing with them.
Mm.
Yeah, wow. I mean, like throwing them through the window, trying to get them drunk.
Yeah.
That's just,
Because that's a story.
yeah, that's, you're right. I feel like they're proud of these stories, you know?
Mm.
Like, nah, this is Florida. This is what we're all about, guys. Just a lot of crackhead energy
Mm.
and no shame.
Yeah. Let's talk about food.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I found a comparison between US and French food,
Yeah.
and in particular, US candy bars.
Yeah.
US candy bars were an average of 41% bigger,
Mm-hmm.
sodas were 52% bigger, and
Wow.
yogurt was 82% bigger compared to French
82?
standards. Yeah.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
that's apparently a classic thing, the supersizing food.
Yeah, that's a big thing, you know? Yeah, American portions are crazy, like huge. Like I feel like
How was it for you? Like after, let's say you were in the US, you came to Korea and you visited back, like the coming back. How was it for you?
so yeah, right. So before, you know, growing up in the US, I've always heard like, oh, America has a big portion size. Okay, whatever. Because I didn't really think about that much. And coming to Korea and going to Germany, or just Europe in general, and then going back to the US, I realized, oh yeah, it's huge. And so like I feel like the US is like the extreme of every flavor. Like sweet things are so sweet, salty things are so salty, but it's like huge. And fried things, like, you know, huge in the US. Like
Everything is deep fried.
yeah, and it's a lot. Like I remember I went back recently during like Christmas time to see my family, and we were like, let's have a like family dinner. Let's go out. It's been a while. Kayla's back. Let's go out. Went to this restaurant and I ordered something, which was already what I thought a lot. It was like, you know, some meal. And then I was like, okay, I'll have this and this with my drink. I was like, okay. And he's like, so what about your sides? Like you get 3 sides. I was like, there's more? Like to what I had, it was a lot of things. Like, yeah, there's more. And they started laughing. And then, yeah, Kayla, you know, they feed you a lot here. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, hold on. Let me a second. Let me look at the sides. And then like when it came out, it was just, you know, big plate of food. And the drink was like just huge. And I was like, wow. Yeah, welcome back to America. Because, you know, even here in Korea, they give like this small little cup full of water, you know?
Yeah, that's insane.
That drives me crazy. I'm like, who's gonna like? I need like at least even a regular size cup. Yeah. But yeah, and I felt also, even just being in like compared to Europe, everything just seems real, like real food. It's not like processed. I mean, I think there's
What do
processed.
you mean, like in the US or not in the US?
Not in the U.S.
Okay,
Everything seems like,
I agree.
yeah, it's not like I feel like I'm eating real whole foods. You know, nothing's been done to it. It's just, and that's the thing. I don't know if you've heard, but like I've seen that so many foods in the U.S. is like illegal in so many other countries. Like chemicals or stuff that they use
Yeah.
is illegal in other countries. And I remember I saw like a whole video of the foods, and I was like, what are we eating? What are we eating there? And like, I think the most common, like right before I left the US, and not right before, when I was in middle school, I remember seeing like, if you go to like a fast food place on the drive-through windows, by the way, this food can cause cancer. Yeah.
Really?
And like they started, I think because they had became, I think a law change or something, but now it's like some things you go, it's like a little like sticker, like this can be cancerous, by the way.
Damn.
Whatever they're serving you. And I was like, what? But you know, it's no one cares, I guess. It's just, yeah.
That's fucked up.
It is. It's really fucked up. And that goes back to saying like groceries. That wasn't a hard thing for me because everything has the long shelf life in the US. Snacks, just everything. So I'm just used to like buying it. It's gonna last. You know, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. So buying groceries here, and even when I was in Europe, like,
yeah, you gotta eat it.
You have to eat it. Like you plan to eat it like within the next few days. Like it's not like, because that's the thing I think that's my horrible habit. I buy like, okay, I have for a while. Like I'm not really worried about it. Then I go back and it's like,
it's alive.
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, my reflex is always just I put it right in the freezer.
Yeah.
Because then you can keep it a while longer.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what made me feel like, wow, you guys have real food here, you know? All right. Korea, I feel like there's like in the middle. I feel like Korea's in the middle of the US and Europe. Some processed foods, some whole foods. But the one thing, Korea is too expensive for fruits. Sure you experience.
Expensive food in general or fruit?
Fruits.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've gotten all my groceries like from a supermarket kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because like on the big market, they have like the classic markets, like, you know, with the stand and they sell their stuff there.
Yeah.
Or they have like a supermarket within this market.
Ah, okay.
And I've always been there, and it seems like everything is surprisingly expensive compared to like the outside
marks. Yeah, I think those are way better than supermarkets. But yeah, back to your original thing. U.S. sizes are crazy insane.
Yeah, and also free refills. So is it like everywhere in America, in every kind of like place where you can get food and drinks, if you get a drink, you pay for the cup basically, and then you can refill as many times as you want.
Yeah, I think this is mostly for fast food places. I could be wrong. Maybe some restaurants offer it. But yeah, when you buy a meal, I mean, it's just known that it's whenever you want to get some more, get some more. You know, because they have like the little like soda
dispenser.
You just go up whenever you want.
But that's only for soft drinks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for alcohol, you can't be like, more beer.
No. Yeah, only for soft drinks, or whatever they have in that little dispenser.
Yeah.
All yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's also with like ketchup and napkins.
Yeah.
Right? That's so fucking crazy. But when I was in the US, you don't get like one or two. You get like 50 napkins.
Yeah.
And with ketchup, for example, in McDonald's.
Yeah.
I remember this because in Switzerland you pay 20 cents per packet of ketchup.
Yeah.
And you have to purposely get it, you know. Like,
yeah.
But in America, it was like you just have a bucket of like billion like ketchup packets, and everybody just takes like a handful. So you take like 30 packets, they use one or two, and the rest, because you touched them, they can reuse them. Yeah. Right. So you have to throw it away again.
That's crazy. Yeah, but yeah, it makes sense. Because I feel like a lot of the napkins, like growing up, is like either goes into a drawer or in your car.
Yeah.
Or the ketchup is the same, or the sauce.
Yeah.
And I think growing up, I was like, even here, there's sometimes where sauce costs, like, you know, like, why? I think I'm not used to that. Like, why am I paying for sauce? What the heck? I think because I just got used to that. I didn't realize it's not a thing everywhere else.
Yeah, I know. The only place in Switzerland, at least that I know of, where you get like free refills is Subway.
Yeah.
But it's
American thing? Yeah. Yeah, and the refills is crazy. That's why I like, doctors always say, I think that's the first tip they say, you want to lose weight? Drink water. Because Americans are...
Everybody likes sodas.
Soda, anything but water they're drinking. Yeah. So, yeah. And, like, huge things are unlimited refills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very crazy for me when I got to the U.S. Like, I saw that a lot. Just a lot of sodas.
Yep.
They had, like, also in our home, we had, like, this thing that you can crush the cans with it, and then just, like, the bucket for them. And there was like a limit, like you can only have like 3 a day, and like back home for us it was always water, always.
Yeah.
Unless like once or like a month maybe you go out to a restaurant and then you can have one.
Yeah.
And I feel like this alone already makes a huge difference in like healthy diet.
Oh yeah.
If you just drink water compared to every drink you have is sweet.
That's the thing. There's a lot of sweets in the US, and that's also what I felt in Korea and Europe versus US, is that people are just overall, I think, just more healthy. Like on a general basis,
I mean,
more healthy and active.
The obesity rate in the US compared to other countries is insane. Did you know that Korea is one of the lowest obesity rates?
Makes sense. You look at everyone around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that makes sense. I can't tell because I feel like they have a lot of unhealthy food. Like, I mean, I don't know if you've seen like the delivery scene, but like I had to stop because you can order so much like delivery so easily. But I feel like as a whole, they're still like fit. I don't know if it's like a beauty standard thing or what, but yeah.
I think it is because on the Korean podcast I talked to Korean guys, and they one of them actually said like the Koreans think a lot more about what other people think of you.
Yeah.
And if you would gain weight, they would right away be like, you're fat.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, as a girl, I've had like my friends and I, we go to a store and like by the way, she's like a Europe or American size small and short, like 160. Small. So she's just healthy, just looks regular. She's kind of skinny. I mean, we walked in the store and they looked at her and like, no, you're too big. You're not going to fit these clothes. She's like, I can fit. She's like, no. You're just like, you're not going to fit our clothes. She's like, I know I can fit. And she's like, no. So she tried the pants on and she's like, I want to get like some like slacks or something. Yeah. And they try to make her size up. Like, you're too big. You're too big. What is going on here? And I know for foreign girls living in Korea, most of them get like body dysmorphia. But because they end up thinking that they're bigger than they actually are. Because everything compared to here, they think they're bigger than they are, and every time you go shopping, everything's like a size like 0, like so tiny, doesn't fit. So like, so yeah, I was like, that's.
Did you find any clothes here?
I stopped shopping here.
Tall as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just stopped. At first, like anytime like I have a friend who's like Korean or Asian, then let's go shopping. No, I'm not going shopping with you. Not here. Yeah, no. And then it's just a sad thing. It just messes with your head. It does. I think it really messes with you. I think girls feel it strong. I don't know how guys. I never asked them about it, but because either here it's like, okay, if I find something that actually fits me, it's short. It's like coming here, it not feeling the right way, or the shoulders are like coming here. I'm like, oh wait, my shoulders, and it's just something's always wrong with the proportion, or it just simply doesn't even fit.
Yeah.
So I was like, after doing that, I was so sad. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I like so fat or something? And then I was like, then I remember I visited Germany, like just went to visit my family, and I went to the store and I was like, oh my god. And they pad, like I can just put them on, and it goes down to my ankle. Like I was like, wow, okay. It was like such a refreshing, like, okay, I can breathe again. And after that, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not shopping in Korea anymore. Just no.
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I was also before I came here, I also asked. I have a friend who's been to Korea also for an exchange, and I asked her like, what do I need to know? And she was like, any clothes you might need, bring them with you.
Yep.
Because you're not gonna find it.
Yeah. Even like I feel like they make you feel bad, even if being a bigger like. I don't think they do on purpose, but just in the culture, like even shoes for me, I can't find shoes that often here. I don't know what my size, like I don't know, but my shoes here, it's hard to find shoes, like the girl shoes, like sneakers I can find easily, but like I guess girly shoes, I can't really find them. And I asked my friends, because other Westerners, okay, where do you buy your shoes? And the store is literally called biggirlfeet.com, biggirlshoes.com. And I was like,
brand.
And it's just like, damn, okay, So I was like, okay, everything, it just makes you feel, you go to a store, you can't find it, you feel bad. Everything's like big girl, big size, big girl. It's like, okay, all right. So I just like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
For me, it was the same. The only shirt I found that fit me literally says extra large on the, like as a
As a
design,
shirt?
as a design.
Really?
Because the size was called like dress.
Really?
Yeah, and it's the only thing that fit me. Everything else was just.
I was gonna ask, you might have a way harder time, and you're tall.
Yeah, I mean, back home, because it depends also like what kind of like cuts. Do you
Yeah,
like,
yeah, right.
And for me, I like rather baggy clothes. I
Yeah,
don't
right.
like anything skin tight.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like at the double, triple X large.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's just I'm fine.
Yeah.
But
You can
here,
Yeah,
impossible.
yeah. I kind of just gave up. It's gonna, yeah.
All right. So with your experience abroad, has your perspective on your own culture changed in any way? Do you appreciate any things more?
Actually, I think I am appreciating and depreciating a lot of different things. I guess related to what we just talked about, one thing I learned is that, okay, when I'm turning 50, I don't need to be like immobile. Like I could still be
fit.
Yeah, and live for myself. I don't need to be like bedridden at home. I feel like a lot of Americans, as they get older, it's just kind of like
You give up.
give up, just kind of like sitting on the couch all day, don't really do anything, not active, don't walk around, don't whatever. But I remember like even in Korea, like going hiking. I don't know if you've ever been hiking here. But wow, the old people are just
getting after it.
They're killing it. Like they were like, you got it, stay strong. Passing, I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, wow. And so I learned that, and even in Germany, like just riding their bike, doing lawn work. Like, yeah, okay, I can be old and still like live a happy, fit, like active life. Like, don't need to be bedridden. But then the safety thing, I realized the US, really dangerous. But there's some things I do miss about America. I think just feeling that sense of community. Like I think you said, that sense of community and being able to be independent, do what I want.
Yeah.
And kind of like, I think living in Korea, I felt that like everyone's judging you. And you got to like think about that. I think the US, no one really cares.
Yeah.
We kind of just, I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that I miss kind of like, if I want to go to the store in my pajamas, I can go. I wasn't care. If I go to the store in pajamas here, I feel like it's gonna be a head turner. Why the heck are you wearing pajamas outside? So stuff like that, I think I miss. But it's a good learning experience. Opens your perspective.
Yeah.
And learn different things. But yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. That's nice. All right. So as a finishing thing, I always have a little quote at the end.
Okay.
And since you are American, I thought I'll bring in an American quote by Abraham Lincoln.
All right.
The best way to predict your future is to create it.
Wow.
So this should like remind us that we have the power to shape our own destiny through our choices and actions.
That's a good reminder, actually. Yes. Oh, thank you, Mr. Lincoln. Wise words. Thank you. Yeah, it was a good talk.
Yeah, thank you very much for taking the time. It was very interesting.
Oh, no, thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed it.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right, then. Peace out.
Bye-bye.